Hi, welcome to MAVV Radio. My name is Justin, aka Icebox on the internet, and I'm here with my two co-hosts, Tori, aka Gail Fox.
That's me.
And Lex, aka Guarded Belief.
Hey, it's me.
And today we'll be going over episode 1 and 2. But before we do that, we're going to go over some of the people that were nice enough to watch our podcast and give us some feedback. So first, we did a Twitter post on Twitter asking what trailer was your favorite. And we actually got the feedback from that. From 38 people voted.
And who won?
Currently,
Red
Yee.
won.
The red trailer.
Red won trailer.
Yay!
Yep, by 37%. Yellow was 34%. Black was 18%. And white was 11%.
It's no surprise Red won.
Yellow was in the lead for a while, and then Red caught up and
Bit
passed
the dust.
Yay, Reds! Not the actual commies, but I've been watching. I've been watching a lot of 60 Seconds.
Yeah. God.
We're gonna go through a couple tweets that we got and Tumblr posts. First is from Joseph at Pretty Spaghetti. I'm sorry if I butchered your Twitter handle. What he said was, going along with your thing with the color palette, the Grimm also followed it. So the red marking, white armor / bone, and black bodies with yellow pupils. So that's actually something I never noticed.
Me neither, to be honest. So it was really nice to see that.
Yeah, very clever color design.
Mm-hmm. They knew what they were doing.
Also, from Universe, who does Dumb RWBY, actually got into a conversation with me and told us that, remember the armor from the white trailer? It was a test by Papa Schnee,
Oh, it was.
who is a literal asshole, and had his daughter fight that giant thing in order to test her to see if she was worthy of getting into Beacon.
God.
So thank you, Papa Schnee.
Yeah, we also had some theories from Lukewarm Guy, who said that he thought on the white trailer was Papa Schnee was in the armor. Don't think it was Papa Schnee, but it was definitely a trial, like you said.
By him, yeah.
Lukewarm Guy also said white is cold and always yearning, burdened by the royal test. So that could say that that was kind of a trial because of the royal test in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Drew from Drew Strasser, Strausser. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names. Who said that the Huntsman Academy is different from regular schools. It's just you have to be 17 to take a test and you can go in. And also that the Shattered Moon was confirmed to be a phase changing the moon undergoes year round. I know someone else on Tumblr said something about that. You want to go?
All right. So RWBY fan over on Tumblr had a conversation with me about the moon phases, and the reason why we see the moon that way and not like the way that we normally see it with our moon here on like actual real life Earth is because their moon is in what's known as an asymmetrical rotation, and we have what's called a tidal lock. So with our moon, we always see one side, but with Remnant's moon, we can actually see the turning rotation. So that's why it looks full sometimes, and that's why it looks that weird crescent half thing with the shattered pieces all around. Yes.
Oh.
And to go along with that, I believe that either something hit it really, really hard, because I've been looking at a whole bunch of pictures, especially from when the phase is in like a profile view.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like something shattered it from the outside.
It does, doesn't it?
But I was looking more like at the profile view, and I noticed that like there were pieces that were really close to what I believe was the point of impact.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a crater, that force would push all of those pieces out. So part of me was like, maybe that's just like residue that's slowly been chipping off from that initial impact over years. But then part of me was like, what if it wasn't an impact from the outside? What if it was something that was like on the inside?
That would make a lot of sense.
What if something happened that either there was like something that came out of the moon or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I believe we aren't done with the moon yet.
Yeah, we're definitely
not at all.
I like the idea of definitely
something
it being coming out, because if you look at it, the explosion, it looks like something exploded and not impacted. Because when you see impact craters on typical moons, it's more impacted into it, not
outside. Yeah,
outside of it.
Definitely, it definitely looks like.
But it only takes that form in, like, again, the profile view. When it kind of has like a waning or a crescent sort of look, it does kind of appear to have that huge chunk missing out of the circle.
Mm-hmm.
So part of me is like, it does look like an impact, but then again, I kind of like my theory that something happened on the inside that caused A, the moon to explode outward, or B, something exploded outward from it.
Yeah, that would
Whew.
be very interesting. It's also really interesting that the moon can retain some of its pieces still really close to each other. So
Well, you have to think about like its own atmosphere and gravity.
Yeah, and the gravity doesn't take it all the way back in, which is
Yeah.
interesting too.
yeah.
So yeah, that's with all of that. Thank you everyone for the watches and the likes and comments. We really appreciate the feedback. Is great to have because we know we're doing something right.
Basically. Just
I
lots of
think we
thanks.
got to 389 views for our first podcast
Woo!
on SoundCloud. So thank you so much for everyone that shared it and reblogged it. We appreciate everything.
Amazing.
That we do. Thank you guys so much.
So much.
So we'll move on to episode 1. So
Warning, spoilers ahead.
going into episode 1, there is a narrator, a mysterious voice talking. When you're first watching, you have no idea who this narrator is.
Until later on.
To much later on, and I don't know if a lot of people noticed it because I don't know how many people have gone back and watched RWBY 1 since the end of season 3.
Yeah.
I want to know who it is. It's Salem.
Basically.
It is Salem.
I saw someone had like pulled together all of the voiceovers to like Salem, and it's interesting how like, oh, she seems so sweet, like a narrator, and then you get to the end of volume 3, you're like, oh shit.
Well, even at like the end of volume 1, right,
Yeah,
when Aspen enters the picture, her tone does change to something like much more darker.
Oh yeah, it does.
And like part of you thinks it's like, ooh, it's because that guy appeared and he's the problem, but it's like, no. Once you take a step back and look at the bigger picture,
oh yeah.
you realize it's like, no, it's the entire plot of this whole series.
Basically.
Yeah, so part of me thinks she wasn't really narrating because like
I think she
or
was.
she was, I mean, she was like talking, but I think she was having a conversation with Ospen.
I think so
She
too.
was, because Aspen's voice does come in the voiceover.
He comes in at the very end, yeah.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think currently my theory is, with having seen the events of the last of volume 3, I'm gonna say that everything that happened is kind of a replay in that they're just having a conversation over it. And that's why you hear both of them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whenever Aspen disappeared, he probably disappeared for somewhere Salem is at.
Yeah.
I'm not
Or maybe-
sure.
oh,
I
I
think
don't-
this was a conversation before all this started because he said something about an innocent child being RWBY.
Well, obviously, yeah.
And then kind of like after that, and then when you go back to season 3, it's kind of like her talking about it again, but as like
Yeah.
it doesn't really seem like he's there. She's like kind of questioning it, but it doesn't seem like the way she's talking doesn't sound like Ospen is there.
Yeah. I mean, I have a theory for that, but we can't even talk about, like, volume 3 till we get to that, so unfortunately I'm gonna be like,
Just gotta hold off until then.
I know.
And so some of the other things that I thought was interesting is that they said something about the void. The Grimm was trying to bring people back to the void. Is void just a figure of speech she used, or was it something like a plane of existence
Yeah, it's really...
that is actually a thing, like where Salem could be from? That weird place
Yeah.
that we saw in season 3, is that the void, or was that just a figure of speech?
I mean, where Salem was at the end of season 3 definitely looks like no place that we've ever seen before.
Yeah.
So that could be a very high possibility.
Could be. Well, and the thing was, too, like, she, like, when we spoke of the born from dust, she spoke that man was born from dust, so that kind of says that man probably was from some odd place and that they couldn't have a physical form until Earth or whatever.
She did say that we are bygones of a forgotten past.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say Remnant's named after Remnant because they're remnants of a forgotten past.
Yeah,
So that
it's-
means before humans.
So
there
yeah,
What was that
was
forgotten past?
some
something
What was
past
there?
interesting
which would
past.
probably be Salem and probably Osmond.
Really old.
Because if you listen to the end of season 3, she says you were faith in humanity to Osmond, as in not calling Osmond human. Or
Yeah.
like, so that
He's
was
old as balls,
interesting.
dude.
Yeah, he
Osmond
is.
is very interesting.
Osmond is just, he's unique. He is so
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
I like Osmond though.
All right.
Same though.
You all like Ospen.
Yeah. So after that, it cuts into the Torchwick and Ruby.
Yeah.
Literally, okay. Like I said, I never watched the trailers, and so literally the season 1 going into it pretty much blind, just because I knew it was something Rooster Teeth did and it looked slightly interesting. I went into watched it, and as soon as Ruby hits someone through the window, jumps out, and her scythe comes out and she just hits it on the ground, I just was like, oh my god, I love this show. It was literally 3 minutes into the show, and I was like, I'm in love.
Seriously, same. Oh my god.
I will never forget that expression you had on your face. I looked over and he was just like,
Okay.
like literal awe. And I was like, yep, he likes it.
So, I don't know if you guys noticed this. This is something I was really paying attention to because I was going through the entire store, like, looking for anything. When Ruby turns around and you see her eyes, there's literally the word warrior plays. I never caught that till now.
Oh, you mean like the timing of the music?
Yeah! That's literally their hint for, like, hey, by the way, this is what she is. Silver Eye Warrior. Yeah.
Hey, cool.
I was like, holy shit.
Oh, so my note, you guys have cool notes. My note about the store is that the crushed dust looks like the candy you get at like candy stores.
Tori.
I might have been hungry when I was watching this.
I thought
But like the guys go up and like get the little candy powder. Like you go and get like M&Ms or you get like Skittles.
like rock candy?
We are not endorsed by M&Ms or Skittles or rock candy.
I don't think rock candy is a brand.
It doesn't. It's
I
not
mean-
really a brand. It's just a candy.
It's just a candy. We can say that
It's just
one.
a thing.
I do like though, like, I am curious as to what scales are. I don't know if it's like scales or like dust scales.
I don't know.
And then
Yeah, also, why did he just want the burn? That was a little weird to me. Like, why not throw them all in there?
well, he wanted burned and cut.
He said
You wanted
burn.
all the dust.
No, he said and burn uncut.
Oh, burned uncut. Sorry, but it was
Yeah,
like it was a cut type. I think it's how the stones are made, kind of like how diamonds and crystals are made when you go to a ring store or jewelry store. You can
Yeah,
get one
but,
special.
like-
Maybe like the raw dust is considered more powerful.
I think so.
I mean, it did explode when he shot
It did explode.
Oh yeah.
A pretty big explosion, which Ruby probably be dead from if Glinda didn't showed up.
Oh yeah. But I do
Yeah.
like that there are about, as far as I saw, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 different kinds of dust types. There was 2 though, and I don't know if they're the same. There was like an orange color and a scarlet color, so I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the orange and I don't know what the scarlet is. I know that the red's probably fire, but like I was going through all of them.
Now that you say it, I think dust have multiple colors, and then like the crystal dust only has like 4.
Yeah.
And then from those they grind
make
and
different
mix.
ones, yeah. But I do
Cool.
think it would be interesting though that if they find new kinds of ones, like there's silver looking ones and light blue and all
Yeah.
these different ones, and I was like, huh. Wonder how much actual dust there is out there and what all can do.
We know the Schnee company is researching and working on them.
Oh yeah.
So we'll skip along to Glinda Goodwitch,
Glinda.
which is a very
Unique
Literal.
name.
literal name for
As
who
in-
she's representing.
As in Glinda the Good Witch
Yeah,
of the East.
From Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of
pretty
Oz.
creative there.
Yep.
Oh, Ozpin,
Hats
the
off
Wizard
to
of
you.
Oz.
Hats off to you, RT.
Well, they were originally going to call Cinderella.
Yeah, for
Aya.
Cinderella.
Cinder-
Hey.
Hey.
It makes sense though.
Girl in Spanish. So okay, Glinda's super ridiculously powerful after like the showing of that, but I can't figure out what her semblance is or what like her weapon is in general too. Like, is she just kind of like magical?
I don't think it's magical. I think it's something very similar to Weiss, where it's glyphs, because she does that glyph kind of movement in the first part.
I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to pinpoint, but I can say it's something roughly to do with like energy.
Yeah, she definitely.
She definitely uses dust in what she does.
Does she?
I don't know if it's similar to, because you know how Cinder has her clothes kind of a little bit entrapped with dust. I don't know if it's similar to that because you can't really tell where she's got the dust, but she definitely uses dust for sure.
Maybe her wand, because Glinda's actually the only character who doesn't have a weapon that's transforming.
Yeah.
I mean, Jean has a sword and shield.
But
Yeah, that's
the only
true.
thing that it does, it gets smaller.
But yeah, I mean, that's something though. It does transform.
Yeah, that's true.
Shield to strike. What's it, the thing you put?
The sheath?
Sheath. Yeah, that one. Because we know she has like some like telepathy type. Is that the right word? The one to be able to move things with your mind.
Telekinesis.
Telekinesis.
Yeah, telepathy is
telekinesis.
Completely different.
That's right. Telekinesis.
Telepathy is reading minds.
Because she has used that several times to put stuff back together, move RWBY out of the way. I think that might be her semblance.
Some kind of telepathy telekinesis.
Now you got us saying it.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Because when she uses the telekinesis, you don't see any glyphs.
Yeah.
Or any of
that's
like
true.
the dust effect.
So that I'm assuming that could be her semblance. And then the other thing she kind of uses
Has dust in it.
dust for.
That makes sense.
But she had a very like ranged amount of powers that she used when she fought Cinder, which was awesome, and we haven't really seen that again, which
I know,
kind of disappointing.
It makes me sad because I want to see like full on Glinda, because I can tell she didn't use all of her powers, obviously for reasons that because of them being in the air. I want to see Glinda Goodwitch hands on fighting to the death of some sort. Like, that would be great.
I want Glinda Goodwitch to go Molly Weasley on somebody.
Oh my God, yes.
That would be amazing. Also, on the same page as Glinda, Ruby's like, "Can I have your autograph?" And so I think like hunters and huntresses, especially with the way RWBY talks about them being like, they're so cool and it's so romantic. And even like in season 3, when you have all of these fans with like paraphernalia of their favorite teams, it's like hunters and huntresses are like kind of like pseudo celebrities. So it's kind of a big deal to be a hunter and huntress. So
yeah, it's kind of funny when she meets Ozpin and she's just kind of talking away, and he's there's the silver eyes part, which we know is a huge thing, which I never would have ever guessed that was a big deal. And you can just tell RWBY is so 15. Like,
she's fangirling hard.
She eats
her
all the cookies.
You're Ozpin! You're the headmaster of Beacon Academy.
No, that she wasn't even like that for that. She was, because she was really like when she was talking about Ozpin, she was reserved.
She knew.
But before that, she was just like, "I'm ninja," like, and she's like going off and talking about stuff, and she's like, "You're in like the presence of like this high headmaster dude, and you're fully aware of who it is." And you're such a like childish thing to do, because like if you're like 17 and thinking about, I want to get into this school, you would be like, "Oh, hi sir, how are you today? Please let me into your school." Like, it's just like, it's funny to see like the difference between her and the other ones because she's so young.
But she knew who Ozpin was, like to a point. That for me was like, you are really into the hunters and huntresses.
Oh yeah.
So
it's also a thing, like RWBY's just very comfortable with being like who she is around other people. Like, even if it's like someone for like, you know, the headmaster of Beacon, she's like, I don't care, I'm just gonna be excited, you know.
All right, my last note I have here kind of fast forwards to when she does get accepted to Beacon, and they're on the airship. By the way, airships are awesome.
Oh my god,
Um,
yes.
But Glinda has this line where she was talking about the students of Beacon Academy being accepted, and she makes this line. She talks about there being an incredible time of peace, which
It's interesting.
after the war and everything, like the war that happened, I don't know how many years ago, but John said something about his like great grandfather or his great grandfather fighting in like the Faunus and Human War, the Civil War.
that's
great grandfather.
Yeah.
Right, so it's kind of long ago, but not that long ago. So obviously it's a civilian peace, but then going to what we know from season 3 with the gigantic like season vault is what I'm calling it, that being built, and just like Aspen's little groupies being so like uptight about
secretive and stuff.
Secretive and everything. So I'm like, Glinda, I think you're lying through your teeth, but maybe you do think like this is going to be a time of peace if you can contain it.
Well, they had at the current moment of when she said that was a very, I mean, up until like season 2 and season 3, it was a very peaceful time for everyone. I mean, granted, things could have like maybe been like going down and stuff like that was secretive, but like in overall it was very peaceful. Like there wasn't a war going on.
Yeah.
Right. The second part of that I found ironic is that her announcement with that came on right after
the riot.
Right after the Faunus riot that happens, and I'm like,
interesting.
Time of peace. Okay.
Nice timing there, Glinda. I had a note that was written on the ship, like the last thing I had besides the whole Oz pin on Glinda for Wizard of Oz was Yang. She said, "RWBY, you are very special." I think that's interesting that Yang says that. Does Yang know that RWBY is like a silver-eyed warrior? Is the question.
I don't think so.
Well,
I think that's just a sister talking.
Like, well, I mean,
a sisterly thing to say to calm someone down.
I guess, but it's still like it's interesting that she says that. Kind of, I feel like the RT members like made that, hey, it's a sister. You can take it as a sisterly thing, but also, hey, by the way, here's another hint of how special RWBY is.
Yeah, they've been hit.
I don't know.
See, my last on the notes on episode 1 is poor John.
Oh, poor Jean.
Poor Jean. I had like other notes for the trailer, by the way. So.
Yeah,
not the trailer, the opening.
The theme song opening, which actually happened at the end of episode 1.
Yeah, I had some interesting little things here.
Oh my gosh, that's probably my favorite song. And
Same.
like in RWBY, like going back and watching it again, like hearing that same song again, and you're just like, oh, yes.
Classics.
So the entire time for the song, I was paying attention to the lyrics and the visuals, and something that caught my eye was like how certain points of the song would hit on the girls. So like Warrior, RWBY, obviously, and then Finest Hour for Weiss, which was interesting because earlier in the episode there was a magazine RWBY was reading. It said I think it was Finest of Them All with the Snee Company thing. I was like, that's pretty funny that they think of So Perfect for the Snee family. So
isn't that also what you say in the mirror?
Yeah,
mirror,
I think so.
Who's the fairest of them all?
Fairest, finest.
Fairest.
Okay,
but it's a very similar term. So
very.
And Blake had Dream, so that was interesting that Blake had dreams.
Blake had the Revolution part when she showed up.
That is true. She also had a Revolution, and then for some reason there was like a flower, so I'm going to assume for Yang blossoming from her pain, I guess, or loss,
Or Adam.
Or Adam.
Flower. Being on dick. Or for Adam cutting off her arm.
And there was 2 other ones, which was Torchwick, which was lightning, which makes sense because like he's like, how lightning's like quick and gone. So.
And eaten.
I mean. What?
What?
Didn't say anything. And then Cinder was thunder. So interesting how those fit. And then there was something else I saw in the opening thing. I'm gonna send you guys it. It was an image, very hard to see, but in the background, behind the words, there's like these weird markings. I think it's Adam's mask, which was really cool that they kind of fit that in, but you wouldn't have noticed it without like pausing the video at that time.
Huh.
So it's like no matter what Blake does, Adam's always gonna be there in the back of her mind.
Oh yeah,
kind of thing.
that's definitely Adam.
Yeah.
Yee. Nice catch.
Yeah.
Was these like I did an oopsie and I actually skipped the trailer, but
Tori.
or I skipped the end. I skipped the ending because I was like, I want to go to episode 2 now. I'm gonna be good and watch it. But was this the trailer that has like Raven's weird
Portal?
red vortex
Yes.
portal thing?
That was another
Yeah.
thing I saw, was the portal that attacks Team RWBY, which was interesting. So it's obviously Raven.
Well, it's not
Mm.
Raven. It could be Cinder because Cinder did have that same thing when she tried to suck the maidens
It's
stuff. It
true,
was the same void type thing.
but it was a little bit different though. Hers looked like an eye, like a red eye of sorts with cinders. Or I don't know, maybe I might have been not really seeing it too closely.
I mean, it does go by rather quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anywho,
But there was also like
so
Jean staring at that statue of the faunus and the people, so it was interesting.
Yeah, maybe that could be like his great grandfather. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know anything about John. That makes me so mad. I want to know about John. Please tell me about John.
His mom talks to him a lot. Oh, well, that's going into chapter 2.
That's chapter 2. And
So speaking of which, chapter 2.
Yeah.
oh god, chapter 2. I had little on chapter 2.
I had that a
I had a
bit.
few things. The first one I have is whenever Ruby first bumps into Weiss, and Weiss is like shaking the dust at her, and she's like, "Fire, ice, water,
Lightning,
you know,
energy.
Lightning.
Yeah,
So like dust, I guess, is Remnant's equivalent to just straight up energy.
basically.
So if like that be the case, then I kind of still have this theory that dust can kind of like take different forms of anywhere. So I still kind of believe that people have like an inherent amount of dust inside themselves, but it might not be the dust that we're used to, but it's still like some kind of energy.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I don't know if that
I
makes
don't think it's
sense.
dust. I think it's aura. I think you're thinking of aura.
Mm,
Well, aura
I
definitely
think
is a thing
maybe
too.
aura is part of dust, but I think if anything that you're thinking like that would correspond
That would explain why
with
aura is so special.
yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe aura is like internal dust. I don't know, or it acts like internal dust.
it could be.
But the whole dust to dust thing is my like. I want to figure out if that has any significance.
So I'm gonna go like kind of talk about just like little things of actually like production and whatnot that I thought was funny comparative to like later on in the season. Is like the black body. It's just like the blank people walking around.
I love the
Yang's
blank
blank friends that never ever come back ever
people.
again.
Yeah,
No.
you never see them ever again. Goodbye, Yang's friend in her arm.
Speaking of background characters, Weiss has a bald Jeff Butler in the background of one scene where he's like picking up her luggage, and I'm calling him Bald Jeff Butler.
You mean
He exists. Does he actually have a name?
You mean the core pirate?
The core pirate? I don't know. I kind of like Bald Jeff Butler. I could call him BJB.
Well, that's what the core pirate is. So.
BGB.
And then there's a little things that they did in season 1 that never returned to in season 2 or 3. Like little anime
Oh
Ruby.
my god, yeah.
Oh, little anime.
Little
Ruby.
anime Ruby.
She
He
was
never
floating
came back.
around.
I
Because
think
it's
oh.
all experiments for season 1, so like they
Yeah.
did a lot of things that
Yeah.
worked and didn't work, but that was just funny.
I think it was a lot because like in most animes you do see like people when they get excited they turn into like little chibified forms and it's like, oh, that's so cute.
Extreme
Extreme.
exaggeration.
But I do like that they didn't do it because with RWBY it's very 3D based, obviously. And doing it from the 3D to that really 2D, it was kind of off for
Weird.
me, at least. It wasn't weird, it was more just like off, like, I like it, but I would like to see it more like, kind of like what they have for Volume 3 now, where it's like you can see like the digital painting kind of style going on here, but it's not flat, I should say.
Yeah.
Not only
2D.
that, like the expressions from like season 2 onward are phenomenal.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like minute little adjustments to facial expressions. Like whenever Ruby saw Pyrrha die, that facial expression, if you just freeze from on that, it's almost like tear jerking. Like, I
Yep.
teared up a little bit because it was just so
I'm
heartbreaking.
tearing up.
And that's just one expression from one shot.
Yeah, I'm tearing up from
That's
remembering
amazing.
it. It's like, and with
Oh.
Penny too, it's just like you remember those so much.
Okay, now moving on before we all start crying and whatnot.
We're not crying just
Weiss
yet.
is super rude. Like when
Oh
we
my
first meet
God.
her.
This is how I
Like-
started hating her, was because she was so rude. I was like,
Dude,
look at this
I
rich bitch.
hated Weiss. Like, I could not stand Weiss when she was first introduced, and it was because of this introduction, how awful she was to
Oh
Ruby.
my God.
And for anybody for that matter. And then Blake kind of rubbed me the wrong way too, because she was like, oh, you know, the Schnee Dust Company. And she kind of like slid in a little bit of that snide comment when she was like,
Questionable business
yeah,
partners.
questionable business practice. And I was like,
Controversial
oh,
believers.
okay.
Yep.
Nah,
I mean, like,
I
yeah,
didn't
you
mind
could be
that.
right about that. You're probably really right about that. But like, wow, passive aggressive much to a person you just met?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, both of them were like not good first impressions at all.
Yeah.
No. But what really got me was like after Ruby was like, wow, these two people fought right in front of me, and she's like, welcome to Beacon. And then Jean is the one that comes up to her and he's like, hi, I'm Jean. And I was like, I like you, Jean.
Jean,
You're gonna be a good friend.
the sunshine child, basically.
hmm
Must protect him at all costs.
And speaking of Jean, that scene after
Oh my
that, if
God.
you look at Jean's shirt, you can
Yep.
see like a little gray symbol beneath the breastplate.
Little circle kind of going right there, but I don't know what it is. Some people have speculated it's a rabbit, to which I'm like, okay.
I think it's his bunny pajamas. I think he just
That
wears his
would
bunny pajama shirt.
be so freaking hilarious. I would cry.
I would love that. Just that's his like favorite shirt or something. His lucky shirt.
If everyone's like, it's a rabbit, it's actually just his pajamas.
It's his lucky rabbit shirt. That's what I'm calling it now. It's a lucky rabbit shirt.
That's why he's not died yet.
Oh, he's so cute. Lucky rabbit shirt. Yeah, I have one of those notes for that. That and his weapon was a hand-me-down. So
So, you
Like-
know, and obviously he comes from a line of fighters.
Yeah, from the war. And I was like, what war? But now that I remember, it's like the war against Stephanus.
Yeah.
right.
But still, like, we know very little about that war. We know, like, kind of about what was brought up in classes and stuff like that. But we never really, like, talked about what the huntsman's role was in the war.
Mm-hmm.
It was just
If they were like
if they
for
were
one side or against one side, or like a neutral force,
or even
like
a thing
split
at
down
that
the middle,
time.
Or, yeah, exactly. Or even a
or if
thing.
it was even a thing,
It might not have
Yeah.
been a thing by then.
It
or like
was-
not even like an organized thing, because like obviously John's great grandfather had a weapon for it
Mm-hmm.
that had like some sort of like kind of future weapon thing with the shield and all that, the way it like expands and contracts.
Yeah. So they were still modernized at a point, but it wasn't like
Right.
what it is now.
Maybe
Right.
that, and I guess that part of me is like, John's weapon is a hand-me-down. That means like his family, you know, gave it to him as like, you know, go out and carry on the family tradition of being huntsmen and huntresses, or that, you know, maybe
he
he
stole
like
it.
Stole it.
that's a possibility too.
It
Was
well,
hanging on the mount, like above the fireplace, and then one day, all of a sudden, it's gone. And
wasn't it though said he kind of like cut into Beacon? Like he kind of like
Well, he cheated
Yeah,
Beacon.
he
cheated
definitely
Beacon.
cheated. Yeah.
He
So-
he forged his acceptance papers.
So who's to say he didn't take a weapon with him? So what if like
I mean, he still kind of sounds in good standing
Oh,
with his
yeah,
family,
no,
like in
yeah.
later seasons. So part of me is like, if you would steal like a Price's family heirloom, I think your like family wouldn't be as nice to you. So
well,
I
we
don't
don't know if it was a prize family. Could just been
His
some
family
junk.
said
Yeah.
that they'll still be there when he comes back. So
Yeah.
Did John run off with the sword again? God damn it! Oh well.
it would be surprising if John like took the sword a couple of times just to practice with it and stuff, and they're just like, you know, he took it again, whatever. Okay, John.
And then he just went to school with it. And they're
Yep.
like, oh,
All right then.
well, okay. I don't know.
God.
Still up in the air, still waiting to hear more about John and his family and his past and his sisters,
Same.
because I would like to see. This sounds kind of silly, but I would really like to see like more family interaction with all of the characters.
Especially since we've
Yeah.
seen Ruby's father now at this point. It's
Mhm.
like, or Ruby and Yang's father, I should say.
I mean, if we're gonna see anyone at this point in season 3, we're gonna see John's family because we know
Obviously,
Nora and
yeah.
Ren don't have
Season
family.
4?
Or season 4. Well, I said after season 3.
Yeah. Because obviously, yeah, he's the only one that's got family left besides Ruby, and she's already left now.
Because yeah, she's hanging out with Ren and Nora, and they
John.
don't have family. I mean, John's there, but that's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah, they don't have family.
Oh.
The only other
Sad face.
thing I have for like the end of chapter 2 was that like I mean this is just something I noticed like as we were talking about them, but you can definitely see all the characters' personalities laid out very well. Like obviously Yang is very like, you know, the party girl, gonna hang out with my friends, socialize, you know, that stuff. You know, Ruby's the child, doesn't know anything, is new to things, but still very excited. Weiss is the brat. And obviously Blake is, you know, the you know, I guess what Crow said, the emo kid.
I wouldn't really peg her as
she's
emo.
not emo.
No, I know it's just like what he said though. But like she's definitely very standoffish.
I read books which make me better than you.
Basically.
Yeah.
Kind of. I can see that.
Very snobbish in a way, but not like reserved. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. And then, you know, John, the dorky one. Dorky, clumsy, precious,
Klutz.
cinnamon.
Roll.
That was about it.
Yep. That's all my notes that I got for this week.
Same.
Yeah, that's everything.
So yay!
Very quick this time.
So next week, we will be going over chapter 3 and 4.
Woo!
And yeah, please leave us comments and what you think about certain things on our Tumblr and Twitter.
Should we come up with another question for this week? Maybe like, who is your favorite character you met in episode 1 and 2?
Your first impressions.
Or yeah, there you go. First impressions.
Yeah, your first impressions of the characters that you met in episode 1 and 2. Because they're actually very different from what you get from the trailers.
Oh yeah.
So again, thank you guys so much for listening, and we hopefully are going to have a schedule started from here on out. So hopefully this will be released on this Monday. So again, my name is Tori. I'm at GaleFox on Twitter and GaleFox on Tumblr.
My name is Lex. I am Guarded Belief on Tumblr and Twitter.
And I'm Justin, your host, and I am Icebox11 on Tumblr and Twitter. Thank you for your time and watching or listening, and we hope we hear from you guys soon.
And don't forget to follow MAVV Twitter and MAVV Radio at Tumblr.
And we will be putting this on our MAVV Radio on SoundCloud and YouTube, and maybe iTunes if we figure that out.
If we ever know how it works.
Someone actually sent me something about that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, good. We will figure that out.
Yep.
All right. So until next week, signing off.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.